Okay, so I just wanted to show off the underwear first. They appear to be quite thin. The pad is thick, but surprisingly, when you turn it inside out and sideways, it really doesn't appear visually to be that thick. It is only padded straight down the back and the front, and the sides are open. So first I tested it out with a 1/4 cup of water, and I just dumped it over from a short distance. I patted it in just to ensure that the moisture was seeping into it the same way a child would sit down on the underwear or whatnot. And I shook it around. So this was very successful, and it wasn't wet at all. It was wet on the side, but I had accidentally poured onto the side where it's not padded, and so that may have been my error. Flipping you around for a different perspective. Okay, so now I'm grabbing a brand new pair of underwear that is fully dry, and I'm flipping it inside out once again. And this time I took the 1/4 cup of water, and instead of pouring it from a distance, I sat all of the water directly onto the underwear, which is a little bit more accurate to when a child pees in the underwear. The liquid is held, and because the underwear is tight to their bottoms, it will just sit, and I patted that in there, similar to movement of a child or sitting down on a chair, whatever. And then this round, it did soak all the way through, and so a 1/4 cup of urine definitely would not work within these underwear. And now I've taken my 3rd pair, and I've just turned on my tap, and I've let it have quite a trickle coming out of the tap, and I've placed the underwear underneath it for possibly an accident where your child recognizes they've started to pee, but then they quickly pull down their underwear to attend the potty. And this did get less wet than the second attempt. However, the liquid was pouring out of the sides of the underwear. And so I think if a child were to pee, it would likely spill into the sides that are not padded, and it would soak the underwear. So this might help prevent as much mess getting into pants, but I don't think it will necessarily prevent wetness from a child who's over the age of 2.
So I'm trying out a bunch of different training underwear to see which one's best. I'm trying this brand, MOEMOE Baby. I'm not sure if it's the same as the MOEMOE, the M-O-M-O. But anyhow, I like these so far. I haven't tried them out. I just tried them on my son to see if they would fit, because I noticed the legs seemed a little bit large in my opinion. And my son's skinny. He's 5 years old and he's skinny, so I was just wondering about this. We'll see. I was also concerned that this may leave room for leaks since it's kind of large. The padding is great, however, so I am happy about that. Now, in comparison, I ordered from my favorite brand of training underwear thus far. Not this particular one that made it become my favorite, but the Max Shape one. However, the Max Shape, while it does have smaller leg holes, the padding is not as thick as this MOEMOE, so I'm gonna stick with the MOEMOE over this Max Fit version. I did like the Max Fit has a cross weave in the padding. However, like I said, the padding is thicker here, even though the legs are larger on the MOEMOE. I'm gonna stick with the MOEMOE just because of the padding, and that's the main thing I need, obviously, so to secure leaks. And just for extra reference, the original Max Fit I had that I ordered last year had fabulous padding. It was so thick and good quality, and also had these nice little elastic legs. However, this version only goes up to 4T, so that's why I ordered, you know, other versions to see, but I really love these elastic lace, secure for leakage, and just the quality is so thick here. But at least this MOEMOE version was similar as far as the padding. Just wish they would change the larger legs, maybe make them a little smaller, or have like 2 variations, a skinny kid size and then maybe kids that are a little thicker.